Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. How are you? I'm just getting Instagram up here. How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a great day. Bear with me for a second. Just booting up Instagram. We've got Facebook going first, which is rare. Usually Instagram is the first one to go live. So hang on, we'll get Instagram joining. Hope everybody is having a great day. Here we go. All right. Luckily for us, usually Instagram comes on fast. So, yep, we are on. So we got Instagram and Facebook going. Hi, everybody. How are you? I can see comments for the most part. I do have both devices going, so bear with me. I'm Kasey D'Amato, president of Certified PA Consulting. I am a PA. I am a business owner, serial entrepreneur. I own multiple businesses, and I'm here every Tuesday to answer your questions. So hopefully you have joined our town hall community. If you haven't, it's free. Go to certifiedpaconsulting.com. You can join our town hall community, fill out a short questionnaire with your questions. And every single Tuesday, I answer 2 or 3 questions that come in frequently. So hopefully we will get to your questions or you'll benefit from other people's questions or both. So today we were talking about becoming a strong leader as a PA. We're answering some questions about our negotiation masterclass, which kicks off tonight. We only host it live twice a year. And I'm throwing in a little bonus today that wasn't on the schedule, but we're talking a little bit for business owners on 3 tips for starting your own business, whether it's medical practice or something outside. A lot of people have been inquiring and working with us privately for business coaching. And we're about to do a free webinar series all about business, which is going to be super fun. So today I'm going to give some tips on business as well. So I think I can see comments. If you have any comments, feel free to go ahead and write in. I don't think there's any other housekeeping. Join the town hall community. Go to certifiedpaconsulting.com and join. And make sure you registered for our free webinar series because we have 4 more to go. We already did 4. So we've talked about salary trends. We've talked about, oh my gosh, we had an amazing panel last week of expert dermatology PAs who all have completely different goals and for their careers and are super successful in all their different areas. So that was a great panel discussion. We've talked about student loans with APP Finance Clinic. So we've had a great series so far, and we still have 4 more to go. So they're going to be kicking back off in a couple weeks right after the negotiation masterclass. So make sure you've registered because we're talking about telemedicine business ownership and legislative changes. We are talking about non-clinical opportunities for PAs. We are talking about business ownership for PAs. So we're talking about functional medicine business ownership. We've got some fun stuff coming for the next round of free webinars. So make sure you have registered. And of course, these Tuesday town halls on Facebook, we also put them, we have a brand new YouTube channel that we just put up. But we've talked about this year, we've talked about everything from personal budgeting on a PA salary, navigating non-competes. We've talked about how to avoid job hopping, why some PAs generate really high revenue collections and others do not. We've talked about negotiating salaries as a new grad. We've talked about when to walk away. We've talked about expanding a job search. We've talked about estimating your collections if you don't get reports. So if you've missed any of the Tuesday town halls, go back. They're all in our feed on Facebook, Certified Physician Assistant Consulting Facebook feed. And you can go through all the town halls. They're 30 minutes, and I try and do at least 2, sometimes 3 different topics every Tuesday, 12:30 East Coast. And they stay on our Facebook page. So go back and check them out. Okay, let's dive in. So I've got my notes here. We're talking about first how to become a strong PA leader. So, being a strong leader has so many benefits because you can actually make a change and you can impact the future of the profession. You can impact new grads and your peers and colleagues. You can impact our physician colleagues and nurse practitioner colleagues. So becoming a leader in the profession is going to do so much more than benefit you. It's going to really benefit the greater good of the entire profession, and it can just change all of our lives. So I can't encourage you enough to become a strong leader. So how do you do that? How do you become a strong leader in the profession? How do you become someone who really makes changes happen instead of complaining about the way things are, and step up and really take action? So I've got a few bullet points to talk through really quick. And of course, this could be a whole half a day lecture. We could make it a whole weekend seminar on leadership. But I'm just going to cover some really fast bullet points right now on leadership. So number 1, Number one way to become a strong leader is to mentor others. So, what does that mean, mentoring? Mentoring means sharing some things that you've experienced and things that you're experts in and training, teaching others. So, how can you do that? You can get involved with PA programs and you can help new grads. That's a really common way. You can help people changing specialties. So there's lots of ways that you can mentor. And people ask me all the time, how is that different than coaching and consulting? Well, it's a little bit different. With mentoring, you're really encouraging someone to grow and flourish, and we do that also with coaching and consulting. We're using a little bit more advanced strategies, coming from advanced training and advanced business experience that we have. But mentoring and passing down to the next generation, anybody can do. You don't need a lot of advanced experience. You don't need a lot of business experience. If you feel like you've been successful in your PA career, then pay it forward and help others become successful and teach them. So volunteer, get involved with the PA programs. You can be on admission committees, you can be adjunct faculty, you can volunteer as a preceptor. There's so many ways you can get involved as a mentor. And if you're in a specialty, you can get involved with your specialty organization and you can mentor other people who want to advance within that particular profession. So becoming a mentor. Number two, volunteer, which kind of goes hand in hand. Volunteering is an amazing way to become a strong leader. And one of the best ways to volunteer is to get involved with the PA organizations on either a state, national, or specialty level. If you can do anything from sitting on the board and being, very highly engaged as a very strong leader, or you could be sitting on a committee and working with a team of like-minded PAs that want to make changes for the future of the profession. And right now, more than ever, there's some antiquated laws in certain states that are really holding the profession back. So especially if you're in one of those states or in a surrounding state, support those areas, get involved and volunteer within the PA organizations on one of the committees. And there's so many different committees, everything from CME to advocacy to education. And there's so many. There's liaison to industry, pharmaceutical industry, all sorts of different committees. Get involved and volunteer in the PA organizations. And that is going to really help advance you as a leader within the profession. You're going to advance your skill set, team building, teamwork. You're going to make changes. It's going to be super rewarding. The networking is going to be phenomenal. The amount of people you're going to meet. So I can't emphasize enough. I volunteered for many years, gosh, I think 6 years with the Society of Dermatology PAs. And I helped to develop the original diplomate program with my partner in crime, Bethany Grubbs. And it was a passion project of ours. We felt very passionate about developing advanced education for dermatology PAs. So I did that early in my career, and it was an experience that was invaluable. And I can't encourage you enough. If you want to become a strong leader, volunteer. The time that you're committing will pay itself back 10 times over in the networking and your own personal growth along the process. So identify your passions. This is my number three when you want to become a strong leader. What is it that you're really passionate about? Is it about helping the students gain clinical skills or get into the workforce? Or is it about legislative and changing these antiquated laws? Is that something you're really passionate about? Is really taking our profession well into the future by actually changing laws? That's a massive undertaking. But if you're passionate about that and you're finding yourself so frustrated and writing on Facebook groups, get involved, and that is your passion. So follow that and keep doing it. Is it your passion to develop educational programs? That was one passion of mine, and why I developed the diplomate program for SDPA with Bethany. Both of our passions were in advanced education. So if that's part of your passion, can you develop a course within your specialty? Or can you do something else where you're getting involved with education? So identify what it is that is really important to you and what you really feel drawn towards, and follow that passion. And that's where you put your energy to volunteer and your energy to mentor. And then lastly, get involved. What can you do today to take action? Who can you reach out to and say, hey, I want to help. I want to make a change. I want to make an impact. How can I make a bigger impact? And take action. Stop sitting back and saying, I want to be a leader. How can I become a leader? Leaders take action. That's what they do. So in order to be a leader, you have to do something every single day, every single week, every single month. That's the definition of leadership. So the last point was take action and do something, and your skills will continue to advance in your leadership role. So those are just a few things. Again, we could do a whole day or an entire weekend on leadership. But those are just a few things that come to mind that I wanted to get out there. If you haven't been thinking and you're thinking you want to become a leader but aren't exactly sure where to start, those are some quick things that you can get going right away and advance your leadership skills. Okay, let's switch gears and talk some business for a couple of minutes. So, a lot of PAs have been talking about starting their own business, which I love. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I own multiple businesses, and I love seeing my PAs getting involved with business ownership. So, I want to talk about a couple of points that are really important and things that sometimes as a PA we don't think about because it's not things that we're trained in. So I'm going to go over 3 points for successful business ownership. And this honestly really applies to almost any business, but it's something I wanted to go over because as PAs, we're trained in clinical medicine and we're trained to take care of patients and we're trained to work as a team and we're super good at that. But sometimes when it comes to numbers and Excel, we want to put blinders on and we want to pretend that the numbers don't matter, but they do in business. They matter. So, the number one thing when you're thinking about starting your business, because I already know that you're passionate about what you're doing, and I already know that you're an expert in that service or in developing that product. So those go without saying. Those things go without saying. So the number one thing that you really need to pay attention to is knowing your numbers. That means what is your revenue forecast? How are you going to actually make money with this business? What does your budget look like? And are you going to make more than you spend, or are you going to spend more than you make? And either way, it's okay. If you're going to spend more, then you need to raise capital or invest some money. If you're going to make more than great, then you're what we call cash flow positive, which is great if you can be cash flow positive right out of the gate, but that's not always the case. So you need to build your forecast so that you know if you're not cash flow positive, that's okay. But when will you get to that point so that you know how much money will need to go in? So you need to know your numbers, which means month over month, you need to put a prediction, a forecast in place that says how much money do you think you're going to make that month, and what is your itemized list of expenses for that month, and then what is your what we call net profit, what's left over at the end of the day. And you need to look at that make a forecast, a prediction for the next month over month of what you think you're going to make for revenue, what your expenses are, and then what your net profit, what's left over. It's super important to do that because if you stay focused on your product or your service, you're going to be amazing at what you do, which I know you already are. And your product is going to be amazing. Your service is going to be amazing. However, your business may not be viable. So you really have to look at the numbers. You've got to do it. You can't put your head in the sand. So knowing your numbers. Number two, know your audience. Who are the people that you're going to be marketing to? And this applies also to a micro business. If you are a clinical PA inside a bigger entity, who is your demographic? If you're an ortho, are your patients mostly athletes? Or are they younger athletes like high school, college? Or are they an older generation, Medicare population, maybe probably not athletes at that point? Maybe you're dealing with more arthritic issues or stenosis, things like that. Who is your population? If you're starting a business that's not clinical, who's your target audience? Who's your product or service designed for? Is it better designed for a certain age or a certain gender or a certain type of person that has certain hobbies? Who is that person? Where are they? And the reason you need to know that is because that's how you network and market, is identifying who that patient, client, customer is. What are their hobbies? What are they doing? And that's where you want to spend your energy to start to build your business. So while you're focusing on your product or your service and honing that in, at the same time, you're also starting to expand your networking and your communication and your awareness marketing in the area where your target patient, client, or customer is. So it's important to simultaneously be paying attention to where is your audience? Who are they and where are they? And how can you get them aware of you while you're building your product and service kind of behind the scenes? You want to do those hand in hand. And then lastly, we're just doing the top 3 points. Again, this could be an entire weekend seminar about business, but we're just doing the top three. The last one is, what problem are you solving better and unlike anybody else who's ever done this before. So, how are you different than what's on the marketplace? How are you delivering your product or service better than anybody else? And how are you solving the problem better? So, your top 3 tips, if you are one of my fellow entrepreneur PAs out there, know your numbers. I know you know your product or service, so I don't need to say that. So know your numbers, get your forecast out there, know your audience. Where are they? What are their hobbies? What are they doing? Who are they? What's everything about them? So that you can start networking in that area while you're building your product or service. And lastly, what is the problem you're solving for them and how are you doing it better than anybody else? So those are the top 3 if you are someone thinking about getting into business, or if you're paid on productivity and you want to grow your micro business. Same concepts apply, same exact concepts. I use these same things growing my micro business in my practice in Los Angeles. I use the exact same thing. I knew the numbers, I knew the target that I wanted to hit, I knew the audience, I knew how to network with people that would be referring that type of patient population, and I knew how I did it better and different than everybody else in Los Angeles, which is a super competitive, saturated market. And how to identify my niche, what I perceived as better, but at least I knew I was different than others in the marketplace. And that's how I built a very successful patient following of high profile celebrities and things like that. And you can do the same exact thing in your market. You could do the same exact thing, whether you're in LA or anywhere in the country. It doesn't matter if you're in Kansas City or Nebraska or wherever, you can do the same exact thing. Hone in on the target audience of who you are serving and market in those areas to with other people who serve that same community, and make sure you're very clear on what you do, the problems that you solve, and how you do it differently than anybody else. So that's the key to business. So I hope that helps those of you who are thinking about business or your micro business. Okay. And lastly, some Q&As coming in from people who are interested in masterclass. So our negotiation masterclass, we only host it live twice a year. Otherwise, it is on recording. And it's a lot more expensive when it's on recording because of the platform and all those things. When we host it live, we can bring the price way, way down on it. So hopefully you took advantage. It kicks off tonight. It is tonight, Thursday night, and next Tuesday and Thursday, an hour and a half for 4 sessions. If you missed out and you still want to grab a seat, Diamond is sold out completely. There's a couple spots left in silver and gold. If you email team at Certified PA Consulting, we can probably still get you in. The class starts at 5 o'clock Pacific tonight and it's live. So hopefully you can catch it. We are talking about mindset of how to successfully negotiate. We're talking about how to run numbers, know your cost of the practice, which is truly the way to know if you can afford, or if the practice can afford to pay you more in your negotiations. We teach you how to understand the practice's business model and numbers to know if there's room for you to get a raise, because whether the salary reports say that there's room or not doesn't really matter if the business doesn't have the money. So we're going to teach you how you can predict if the business can afford to pay you more. And then we're going to talk about how to bring value that is non-revenue value and how to differentiate yourself from others in the marketplace. And lastly, we're going to be talking about common elements of contracts that are pitfalls. So it's going to be an amazing class. It's 6 hours. It has a 24-page workbook that we work through together. It's awesome. If you missed out and the registration closed last Friday, if you want to grab a silver or gold, Diamond is sold out for sure. But if you want to grab a silver or gold seat, email team at Certified PA Consulting. Do it fast, because pretty soon my team is probably going to kill me for even saying we can get a couple more people in, because they pretty much wrapped everything up and they've got everything up and running, prizes and case study. We're doing live case studies during the class, walking through live case studies that represent common examples. It's going to be awesome. So if you haven't, if you didn't register and you want to grab a seat, email team at Certified PA Consulting. For next week's town hall, we have a couple of topics coming up next week. We are talking about burnout, and we are talking about percentage-based pay structures. So don't miss next week. Join the town hall community. Send in your questionnaire, your survey, so that we can understand you, how to best serve you. And we will make sure to add your questions to the upcoming roster of questions. This is free service. We also have free guides to download. We have a couple of guides on negotiation and success. We're rolling out some more PDF guides. Those are free on Certified PA Consulting website. We do have private coaching. If you're suffering from burnout, if you're thinking about starting a business, if you are thinking about a career change, or you're getting ready to negotiate and you don't know where to start, we offer private one-on-one services for those categories, for negotiating, for career burnout, for career advancement, if you want to advance your career, and for business. So reach out. You're not alone. We are certified life coaches as well as PAs and have a decade of experience coaching. We own, like I said, multiple businesses, and we will help you. We have the tools to help set you up for success. So don't be shy. Reach out anytime. You can email team at Certified PA Consulting. Of course, you can connect with me on Facebook or Instagram at Kasey D'Amato. I'm happy to connect. You can send me a DM, a private message. I usually answer them late at night, but happy to connect personally as well. So feel free to connect with me at Kasey D'Amato on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, and I will see you there. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. We will see you, Masterclass team. We will see you tonight, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock East Coast. Can't wait. It's going to be a good time. Everybody else, we'll see you next Tuesday's town hall. Send in your questions. Make sure you register for the town hall community. See you soon. Bye-bye.